Inspiring Body of Christ Church is an anointed ministry where we use the Word of God to win souls for the kingdom of God. We are fishers of men, and our church is uniquely equipped with the largest privately owned aquarium in the world. All of the marine life that you see in our tanks have to go through a time of quarantine. So here is a recap of our previous episode of Quarantine with Pastor Rickie Rush.
When you walk down the street, when people see you, the reason we're here together, the reason you're up at 8 o'clock in the morning listening to service, the reason we call ourselves brothers and sisters, the reason we understand when things are not done right and it affects all of us is because of the symbol that we have that brings us together. It's the symbol of love. We have a symbol of forgiveness. We wear the symbol of having the same beliefs. When you see us in the community, we symbolize it's going to be all right. When a Christian shows up, everybody goes, okay, even if everybody's cutting up and doing things, watch him for a minute. His reactions ought to be different. Her reactions ought to be different. Because when those people are in public, they bring, watch this now, they bring the light to the dark spaces. Oh, come on now. That solar light, it doesn't shine all the time. Most of the day it's getting charged, but the rest of the day is shining light. Most of the time you're getting charged, but the rest of the day you're shining light. What have we been doing these last 3 or 4 months? We've been getting charged because now the rest of the day we got to shine some light.
Thank you, Father, for revealing your word to me today.
And now, another episode of Quarantine with Pastor Rickie Rush.
Revealing your word to me today.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I love to praise Him. I love to praise His name. I love to praise Him. I love to praise His name. I love to praise Him. I love to praise His name. I love to praise His holy name. I love to praise Him. I love to praise His name. I love to praise
And that's how we start Sunday morning service. This is Inspired Body of Christ Church. I'm Pastor Rickie Rush, and I want to thank you all for being with us. I want to deeply apologize because I know all the time there's some people that are wondering, why did we start so late? Why did we start so late? Today was just totally unavoidable. We had some technical issues, and remember now everything is viral. I mean, we're going everything on air with technology. So please, if you have any room for forgiveness, please use your first level of forgiveness. Personally, for me, it is my fault when we start late as a leader. We could start and we could just not really consider you, but that's just not our hearts here. We want to make sure that everything that we're making possible for the delivery of the message with our PowerPoints and everything is right. We had a dynamic 8 a.m. service. So thank you so much, everybody, for just being with us. And I deeply apologize again. I pour my heart out to you and ask that. And I thank God we have our Living Sound representatives here this morning and our Living Sound with us today. Sometimes we go through a lot of things, and so today we have to stop and say, wait a minute, how are you doing? There are those of you that are leading in this city, you're leading in your families, you're leading in your jobs, you're leading in your community, you're leading in your neighborhoods, but how are you doing? I want to make sure this morning that we check on you. So sometimes I have to look at you and go, hey, how y'all doing? Because it's a lot of responsibility for doing that. We as leaders, we hurt. We feel powerless. Man, just talking about it gets me choked up. We feel not powerless in that we don't have the power of God, but that sometimes we want to say, hey, right now things have to stop. And we just believe that God has a message for us today. And I want to thank you for it. This is the Sunday before Father's Day. You're going to hear me talk about Father's Day. Next week is Father's Day. I think one of the first messages toward healing is for men and women of God to understand the role of the Father. God is our Father. And if Satan can get us to disrespect, see, the whole image of fatherhood, the symbol of what a father is, he gets us. And we know our fathers take care of us, and our Heavenly Father takes care of us. Next Sunday morning is Father's Day, and I'm going to ask all of you right now, you're going to hear me mention this later on, to start sending us 15-second videos of you having to wish your father a happy Father's Day. Do that. Now, we know that we did that for Mother's Day, and perhaps other people now have understood that that's a great idea. So you may hear about it in other ministries. It doesn't stop us from knowing that we have to make that commitment too. I don't care if it's your stepfather. If you got a stepfather, man, you got a bonus father. It could be your pawpaw that raised you, that you see as your father. That pawpaw, that's, I said earlier, that's almost better than a pappy, because a pappy is just, that's just where it stops. But whoever that is, take that time, y'all. Okay, if your dad's in California, Chicago, in East Texas, even if he doesn't have the internet, you just go online, do it, and have him to be with us next Sunday. We just want him to hear you wish him a happy Father's Day. Say something fun or crazy about it. You only have 15 seconds. You can think of 15 seconds to do that. You're going to send your video to videos at IBOC Church, I think it's .org. You'll see the video behind me. Do it today. Do it before tomorrow so we can have it in time for Sunday. It just takes 15 seconds. If you can't get to your dad, it's okay. Show us a picture of him. Or if you can run to his house and say, hey, this is my dad. And then, talk to us about him. I'm spending this much time because it's tough enough feeling appreciated and loved and honored. It's tough enough to go through all that, but it's really difficult if we don't want to take the time to just do something so simple. I appreciate all of you being here with us today. We're going to get right into the message. Our praise team is going to come with another song, and after they come with a song, I'm going to jump right in with the Word of God so that we can move forward. Today at 6 p.m., we're probably going to have one of the most important meetings. A lot of people are talking about, what do we do? What do we do with change? What do we do with change? We have learned that one person's voice, one person's situation can change a whole nation. And today there may be a teenager who has a voice. We're in here today because one person's voice was able to call me. And when I hear your voices, they're all individual voices. And sometimes when you hurt, I go, okay, wait. I got to look at the team. I just got to look at the team. We've been taught a lot of word here, but how do we look? So there may be a teenager who is angry, who's hurt, who's hopeful, who's graduated and feels like, man, I just don't feel like nobody came to my graduation, who may have lost a parent, who is trying to understand how could my mom die a few days ago and I wasn't allowed to be in the hospital. It's a lot that goes on that comes through this filter as pastor. So I want to open up this church today at 6 p.m. for the teenagers of IBOC. And this is not a community event. It's nothing like that, please. And if a teenager cannot be here, we're going to do the service virtual today. But I need to hear them. I need to talk to them. I want to talk to them a few minutes about anger and where that comes from and what do we do with it. As your pastor, I don't know the laws, and we're not going to break any laws. It's not a service. It's not opening up the church. But we're going to be in this building, not outside, 6 o'clock in this building. If you got one teenager and he wants to sit right there and I talk with him, I'll talk with him and we'll be done. If you got 700, we'll scatter them all over this place. We can hold that. We can do that here without ever being close into social, disregarding the social distancing rules. So I'm asking you, I'm not asking you, I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you. And if not, don't ever say that we're not trying to reach our young people. Don't say that. They've been pent up for like 4 months now, y'all. And, you know, and now they're getting fearful and they're having things that they want to say. And I'm going to set mics out. I want them to talk. I want to hear from them. And so I'm asking you and I'm begging you, and that's all I'm doing. And we're going to sow seeds and plant offerings, and we got to reach that generation. One of our young men not going to be here today is Keyshawn Jones. He's going to the Army. He's going to enlist for the Army. He'll be leaving out, and I want to talk with him probably about him during the message and how he has inspired me. Just through our conversations last night, I asked him, you know, why would you sign up to go to the Army at a time like this when there seems to be no apparent compassion or empathy from our leadership in some of our high government offices? And he said, because I think, Pastor Rush, you know, you've taught us a lot of word here. And he said, I just know that things are going to change. And I want to be in position when the change happens. So I admire him, and I thank his father, Brother Qualls and Sister Qualls, for raising him and keeping him in ministry. And you help us by bringing another teenager. And those of you that are part of our social media team, our Dream Church, I'm expecting you to be here 100%, no excuses. We can't keep talking about reaching out and being digital evangelists and leaving a Dream Church. And you can be a part of what the next nightmare is by being too busy to just come and say, I need to be present. And we scatter all over this building. I appreciate you. I love you. Please be patient with me. I'm asking God constantly to help me lead through a sick pandemic and a human pandemic. So I'm excited about the word. I'm going to shut my mouth. I'm going to let the praise team sing, and I'm going to come right back, and we're going to pour out a word to you. Open your heart up and just be ready to receive it. Thank you. God bless you. Let's hear from our team again.
Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you. I worship you. Help me sing. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. Waymaker, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Oh, that's who you are, Waymaker. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, and you're mending every heart. I worship you. Oh, sing it again, Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. We thank you, Lord. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. One more time, Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. This is the word of God. This is my word from God. Obedience to this word is the only weapon I have. If I read this word and do exactly as it says, according to the book of Joshua, chapter number 1. This word says I can be. I can do what this word says I can do. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father, for revealing your word to me today. For revealing your word to me today.
Father, this morning we thank you so much. We have a chance now to hear from you again. And we thank you, Lord, that today, this is a day we've never seen before. And in the midst of everything that we are enduring, there are those, God, who can't be in their church this morning. They're not in their church. They haven't been in their church building in a long time. They're in their church house. They take that church everywhere they go, but they have not been in their church building in a while. And I pray right now, God, first strengthen my brother and sister and those children who are saying, oh, God, I want to be in my church building. And I just thank you for providing us the electronics and the team and the visionaries that can help us to get this message out to thousands like we've never been able to do before. So speak to us, God. We need to hear from you today. You know that we're hurting. You know how you're healing us. And everyone has something to say, God, but we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. And I thank you for not ignoring us. I thank you for being a good father who listens to your kids and who answers us with wisdom. And I just pray that this message today be presented with clarity and simplicity. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Thank you all so much for being in service today. It continues to be a little odd. It continues to be a little different, but it continues to be what it is. And we have learned now that if things don't go quite the way we want them to go, as long as God gets the glory and we are following God's commands and hearing from the Lord, then we've learned to be a lot more appreciative. And we're humbled today by you being here. We had an 8 o'clock service this morning. We have 8 o'clock service every Sunday morning. And we have a 10 o'clock service and we have a 6 o'clock service. And on a different Sunday morning, we'll generally have our choirs and our ushers and our hospitality team and our significant seniors and our restaurant members and our video teams and our parking crew and our deacons and our young people and our dream church. And it just goes on and on and on with hospitality and the men of God. So everybody's in the building. But now we're having to say, God, we are still wherever we are carrying the message. But sometimes it's necessary for me to look in the faces of those who lead the ministry and go, okay, let me check on you. You know, when you go in buildings, they check your temperature to see if you're having fever of some sort. And some people show fevers and some people do not. But we make sure that everybody's safe before going into certain places. And we pray and hope that you're doing that. At the Inspiring Body of Christ Church, what we're trying to do is make sure that everyone, before we re-enter service, not because of some political mandate, but before we come in, we value human lives. So we want to make sure that we are emotionally, mentally, socially, financially, economically, spiritually, and victoriously ready to walk back into this building. We want to make sure that we're okay in our mindset, because after being told that people are infected and contaminated, we have a way, if we don't watch it. Watch this now. Watch this. We have a way, if we don't watch it. This is going to be very powerful. We have a way, if we don't watch it, we have a way of becoming those people who profile. There was a time when we were around people and they had fevers and we would lay hands on them immediately. And it's biblical. Peter laid his hand on his mother-in-law's fever and she immediately was healed. And the Bible tells us to lay hands on the sick and we shall be recovered and they shall be recovered. But if we don't watch it, the very thing that God has taught us, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, the very thing that God has taught us can cause us, because of other conversations we hear, we can profile. Remember, there was a time when a person would sneeze and we would say, bless you. Now when a person sneezes, we go, is that corona? See, we got to be careful that we're not picking up on the world's message. I could just start right there preaching. Sometimes I got to check out my team and watch out, guys. We're hearing things, but is that affecting what we say we believe? And is that affecting the faith that we said that we have in place? I didn't know what to talk about this morning for a while, and God had been giving me these ideas. And up until later, very late this morning, about 5 minutes before service, God said, now I want to talk to you about what to call this. And I have to do that because I walk by faith and not by sight. I just don't make it by sight. I hear too many things. I see too many things. I analyze too many things. It's like some people, things come to me and I analyze it, I break it down, and then I've kind of got a different respect for people who just overanalyze everything now. You know, hold my hand, why? Give me a hug, why? What's the matter? You know, and it just gets to be too much now. So sometimes that you grow out of that and you realize, you know, I'm fighting too much to have to become the person that I'm supposed to be. And I want to make sure today's message reaches home to us. So as we get into today's message, we started at 8 a.m. and we're going to go right into the Bible, and I got to stick with the Word of God. And I've got to make sure that we hear what God is saying to us. We can, if we're not careful, get into what I'm going to call self-talk. That's not the message today, but I want to start with that conversation. We can get into what we call self-talk. Self-talk will talk you out of something. Self-talk will make you say, well, I don't need to go down and check for that job because they're probably not hiring anyway. Or there are some other more qualified people that are looking for that job. Self-talk will make you talk yourself out of a blessing. So we have to be extremely careful about self-talk, talking to ourselves, talking ourselves out of things, telling ourselves, well, it's not me, it's really them. And before you know it, the enemy can catch you listening to yourself, and he needs for you to hear yourself talk. Faith cometh by hearing, and the best way to get you is for you to hear negative talk. Now, guess who spends the most time talking negative to themselves? You do. I do. We do. We say a lot of negative things. Self-talk can turn your faith inside out and have you doubting things that no one ever said, but you said it to yourself. That's why I want to meet with our young people today at 6 o'clock in person. This is going to be virtually broadcast, but as many as possible. They want to walk in the building. I want to look in their faces. They'll look at our faces to see that we're okay. We're a very caring church. We do care about how we look. We do care about how we feel. We really care about what's going on that we can somehow see through a mask. So I want to make sure that we're careful about our self-talk. Another thing that we brought up today as we started going into the message, when we go into the book of 1 Corinthians, we have to start understanding what God is saying to us today. What God is saying to us today. I told the story or gave the illustration earlier of how there was a time when I wanted to put some landscape lights outside of the house. And landscape lights outside of the house just shine light on the house. That's okay to do. People do it for different reasons. They do it to hide, show bushes or highlight features of the house, or just make the house feel secure at night. So people passing by, you can see lights on the house. There's just something about lights. And the thing with security lights are you always have to be in place to turn them on. And sometimes when you're not there, you still need to have the lights on. I left going from a lot of the security lights, and I put down some little things called solar lights. Solar lights are those lights that get their energy from the sun. And when they get their energy from the sun, you don't have to necessarily turn a solar light on. Solar lights are turned on when darkness appears. I want to talk to some of you who this morning are here who don't realize that you are solar lights. You get your energy from the sun. You missed that. You missed it. It was right there, and you were almost there. You get your energy from the sun. You get your energy from God's Son, because the Holy Spirit is a comforter, and he says, I will give you power. And so when the Holy Spirit gives you power, he represents the Son of God, who becomes your light. Now, you won't know if you're charged. Watch this now. You won't know if you're charged until darkness comes. You don't show as a solar light. You never really show up in the daylight, because you're not going to compete for light. You compete for darkness. Solar lights never try to outshine another light. They just try to put out as much light as they can when they're called on. When you are representing God, you're not in competition with somebody else's light. You just put out what's been placed in you, and the darker it is around you, the greater your light will shine. And when you compete with yourself for light, when you understand, God, let your light shine through me, then you never have to try to outshine anybody else. So let's go into the Word of God today to see what God has to say to us. I'm going to move kind of rapidly as much as I can, but I have to be very careful, very slow, because I think we're getting in such a hurry now that we're missing God on a lot of things. And I ask God, what do you want me to say to your people? God, they're your people. They're not my people. Book of 1 Corinthians, 15th chapter, 58th verse in the Message Bible. It says, with all this going for us, my dear friends, he says, stand your ground and don't hold back. Throw yourselves into the work of the master, confident that nothing you do for him is a waste of time or effort. Nothing you do for him is a waste of time or effort. And our subject this morning is real simple. We're going to talk about the symbol of hope. The symbol of hope. We're going to continue this message with the symbol of hope. Now, to those of you that are listening by line, on air, or on the internet, I'm going to ask that you would focus all your attention on your Facebook Live or YouTube Live or on our website. I want to make sure that if you hear an occasional amen or hallelujah, no, we have not reopened the church. No, we have not started service. Don't call me, please, asking me how many people. We're not there yet. But sometimes, every once in a while, there's an emergency hospital that has to open for patients that are going to help treat other patients. Sometimes first responders, watch this, sometimes first responders have to be taken care of. So we have first responders in Christianity. There are those who are on the front line of our faith who have to deal with a lot of different things. And sometimes I have to sit down and talk with them in the church and go, okay, are you all right? Because you guys are praying for people, you're working around people, you're getting in lines, you're feeding people, you're stacking lunches for people, you're helping check temperatures for people, you're having work in the community, but I need to know today, are you okay? I don't care what people pay you to do. I want to make sure that God is still strengthening you to do it. So that's why we may have a few amens and hallelujahs in here today. I want to talk about this symbol of hope. One of the things that God is trying to show us today is that what's happening most of all with a lot of us is Satan is trying to steal our hope now. He's trying to mess with our hope. When you have hope, or you have something to hold on to, and I'm going to break it down more into notes in just a second. But the most important thing that I keep trying to help us to understand is that every one of us in here, our lives, we are symbols. Everywhere we go, there are people that are in your life with you right now that are around you simply because of what you, watch this word, symbolize. I've never been a person that I've known people that would do drugs, and so they you can pass a person, a guy can smell like something, and a person go, okay, I know what he does. Why? Because of smell. So that means we have something in common. So they may ask him, say, man, do you smoke this? You got to, and so sometimes you get very insulted because you can come out of a store smelling like something, and people may associate that with you because of what you're carrying around. Your symbol is what you carry around. People know you by your symbol. Some people, they see your hair braided. They go, oh, where do you get your hair done? How do they know that? They see the symbol. You're wearing a braided hair. And sometimes they say, where do you get your eyelashes? Why'd they ask me that? Because normally people's eyelashes don't touch their glasses. So they know you got your hair. You got your hair done somewhere. So sometimes you got to be aware that everywhere you go, you symbolize something. And being a Christian, when we walk around every day, some people are drawn to you, and you've got to remember that they're not drawn to you, they're drawn to your symbol. Because when we say we're Christians, we don't sometimes have to say we're Christians. We don't get a chance to say that. What we do is we bring light in dark places. We speak positive. We don't let people see us reach our end. We get there sometimes when we want to fuss and fight. We just want to fuss and fight. It doesn't mean that we fuss and fight. And so sometimes people say, how do you stay so strong? And what they're saying is, I see some symbol on you. There's something on you. What is it? What is it? And so we might say a lot of different things. And God is saying, I want you to tell them right now, I want you to know that it's me living in you. We are the symbol of God everywhere we go. That's why when we talk a lot, you hear me talk a little bit sometimes about how we dress. We dress modestly. We try to dress modestly. We're fashionable. Come on, man. We're more fashionable than anybody. But sometimes you have to remember that when people see you, they're looking at that symbol. That's why it's important. It used to be. I don't know how important it is now. I'm not in that realm. But sometimes people would always tell you what they're wearing, the label instead of the garment. What's that? Oh, that's jeans smokike. Oh, that's red bottom 47. So we want people to know what labels we have because that symbolizes wealth. You may ask me, what's that? What's that? Somebody asked me, man, how did you get them to shine like that? And I just tell them, that's patent leather. See, it's just straight up. That's Le Vins or whatever you can to get your stuff. So sometimes, though, people with their symbols, they want you to know that. When people see us, they see our symbol. They see God. And sometimes they're wondering, why is God sitting up at the bar? Why is God taking a puff of that? Why is God breaking that rule? Why is God driving so reckless? And sometimes people persecute us because we're Christians. And that's just part of it. And maybe I'll get to that note here in just a minute. But everything you do, when you go around your family, holidays are coming up, they're not seeing you as cousin anymore. They're seeing your symbol. You come around and people go, shh, be quiet. That's a great respectable thing. Oh, when I walk around, people shut up. Remember when they used to get louder and curse more? Remember when they used to say all the filthy jokes and the nasty things around you? Now when you come around, don't say that. Why? Because you brought the symbol in the room. You brought light into that dark conversation. That ought to be a compliment to you. Don't be insulted because people shut down when you show up. You're going to be on your job, and there may be people who have different racial views on different things. When you walk up, they may shut down. That ought to be a compliment to you, that when the light shows up, the darkness has to shut up. Don't always take it as a bad thing. Take it as a level of, now you need to respect my light. But make sure you understand the symbol you're showing. It was tough growing up, and I didn't know why people always found, I was always the guy, they always found fault in everything I did. I didn't know it was the symbol they were seeing. I thought people were just being critical of me and critical. So I grew up thinking that everybody was very critical of me. And in reality, they were just saying, you show this symbol, man. Everybody else could skip class. I could be late to class. Oh, and, the preacher man late. He must have had to go see Jesus, all that old crazy stuff. And so guess what it did for a long time? It's almost made me regret being a Christian, because I got tired of all the light being on me when I was trying to do right, and I couldn't. I would even sometimes try to act like a lot of young people, a lot of you try to act like you're not saved. You're going to try to put on a little short thing and go on out there because it's Saturday. You're trying to twitch. You're uncoordinated. First of all, your shout ain't even correct when you're at church, and now you're going to try to dance in a club, and you can't do much. And there's just something about your light that's saying, she does not belong out here, and people are looking at you like, why are you, with so much dignity and so much class, why are you out here? And it's not you that they're hating. It's just that people love when the light shows up for the light to be on. Sometimes God may put you in dark places, not for you to be dark, but for you to bring a light to it. Now, do we fail? Do we sin? Do we have flaws? Do we have faults? Yeah. We can talk all day about that. But you have to carry that symbol with you. Everything you do. If you walk around and somebody has tattoos on their arms, you kind of see what they think, what they stand for. Those are all symbols. I got to talk about that for a minute, because of everything we do. If we walk into a protest, we walk into a protest with a symbol. We're not walking to say that we're here to hate. We're walking because we're saying, just like the Lord had to carry a cross up a hill and he had to carry it in front of people. Maybe that was his protest banner, but he walked into light. He walked into darkness with the light on him. So when you show up, your appearance should change things. You're not going to stop people from doing what they do wrong. No. But you are a symbol of hope. When people see you, they know it's going to be better. They know it's going to be better. Have you ever had your car pulled over on the side of the road? And we talked about this the other night. I guess, thank you, God, for putting it back on my mind. And the tow truck comes up. You may not even see the tow truck. Or if you ever had to call the police officer, in the midst of all this stuff, let's just talk about that. Somebody was dying. Somebody was having a heart attack. And when you heard the siren, that siren was a symbol that help was on the way. You had never looked out the door, but when you heard the siren, you went to look out the door. The siren called your attention. Your symbol of hope, when you walk into this world, lights come on, sirens go off. The world is being told that a child of God is on the scene. And when you show up, there's a sign that everything's going to be all right. I need somebody who understands that everything's going to be all right to give God glory and say everything's going to be all right. That's the symbol. Oh my God, we cry. I have never personally had to cry so much. I don't think in my life as much as I cry now. And I have to be so strong, and I have to pick who I cry around, and then I have to pick how long I stay down, and then I don't want my crying to make me look like a wimp, and I don't want my crying to make me look like I'm defeated. But sometimes God is saying, you're finally getting to the point that you realize that you can't help yourself. Now I'm here to help you, but I want you to know that the crying is all right. And it might endure for a whole night, and night may last a long, long time. But now you have to realize I'm here to give you hope that joy is coming in the morning. And so I just want to talk about that a little bit. I don't want to compete with the world. I want to compete against myself. I want to ask God, can you shine a brighter light on me today with your son so that when I walk into my next dark moment, I can shine more of you. When you go places, people look forward to you coming. And either they look forward to you coming or they look forward to you going. So it is a load that we may be carrying. But it's a load that God has given us, and he will not give you any more than you can bear. And so symbols are extremely important. And I know for some people, you may not have ever seen yourself or maybe been able to view yourself as a symbol until right now. But you are a symbol. I'm going to show you how important symbols are so that when you understand, you walk into an environment, it's like, and that's what makes sometimes believers, we want to sometimes take off you try to change your clothes so you'll fit in so nobody know you're saved. You still can't turn out the sun. The sun is just all over you. You just look different in that stuff when it's super tight. You just look different in it when it's too low. But you just can't turn it off. You're trying to act all, almost, and it's there, but it's just not who you are now, because the symbol is all on you. For instance, if I put this symbol up here, what does that mean? That's I don't care where you go, you see that's a symbol of a hospital. This doesn't say anything; it just represents this. Okay, what is this? That's a symbol of the Marines. It doesn't say anything; it just represents. You get it? You see that symbol somewhere, if a guy walks in with that uniform on, you go, oh, he's been in the service. Man never said a word. How do you know he's in the service? He's wearing the symbol. I don't know why people keep finding fault in me. People always seem like they're on my case, and they say things around me, Pastor Rich. You know why? Their symbol is showing. And when they can treat you like them, then your symbol has faded. And you need some more light. Here's another one. You see this anywhere, you know what that is. That's some Project Hula Hoops. I'm sorry. But that's just a symbol of the Olympics. If I came in here with that on my back, somebody would ask, have you been to the Olympics? No, I went up to, they had them on sale at the Big T, but it represents, So some people can wear the symbol. Doesn't mean they've been there. But we know what that symbolizes, don't we? That's just a symbol of the Olympics. Are y'all getting it? It's not that people are always bugging you or picking on you, but you're wearing the symbol. You're wearing the symbol. And those of us who believe the same things start to assemble the same ways. It won't take long for somebody to be in your assembly and you realize you're not talking like us. You're kind of messy. Why are you in this? Why are you a part of it? Because sometimes people have to be associated with you so they can feel important, but they don't have the symbol. When we believe in the same things and we stand for the same things and we're together for the same things, that's when you start having fellowship and friends. I mean, just think. Everywhere you go, you're inviting people into your circle according to your symbol. And at some point, you demand respect for your symbol. You can't be a Crip coming into the meeting with red colors on. No, man, my mama wouldn't let me wear my blue. That's not going to cut it. You get it? Okay, symbol. You saw this somewhere? What does it say? Rickie Rush is coming. Here come Rickie Rush, right? If you think that's Rickie Rush, you could possibly end up dead. You could stand on the track. I'm looking for Rickie Rush. That's a symbol that something is coming. And you get that symbol. When you see that, you don't see one train, but you start looking for him. I just want this to be clear. We don't have to be here all morning, but I want you to understand we're talking about a symbol of hope. That's who you are. That's who you are. That's why your mom put so much pressure on you. Watch who your friends are. Watch what you say. Watch what you take pictures of. Watch how you put yourself on Facebook. Somebody else puts something on Facebook you think is cute. It's a filthy joke, and you put LM blank. You let your friend mess up your symbol. You put one letter in there and just messed up your whole symbol. You didn't have to comment on that joke. Your symbol should not let you comment on that joke. Sure, that's your friend, but you just messed up your symbol. They better watch me. I'll kick there. And you got these blank, 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 blanks. I'm talking to the whole nation listening to me now. Sure, you got some likes and some thumbs up and some tee-hee-hees, but you just messed up your symbol. When you comment as a symbol of hope, or you don't comment. He can't tell us what to do. I can tell you how to wash your symbol, though. All right. What is this symbol? Yeah. That represents a drugstore. You see somewhere, you know you can get your prescription there. If you walk up to something and it's got, and they say, they got that here. Oh, let me see if I can do this. So you see this on, it's not there. But you see that on the building. What's that? That's not the same as that. That could be a crack house. I'm just saying, I'm talking to my church now. The rest of y'all don't, that's just, we know around here. So you're going to try to make your own drugstore. I'm into drug. I do a prescription too. But that one is, that's just when you take your prescription there, they're going to feel it over the counter, not through the window, just, okay. You have drive-through too. I know you got your little business started. But my point is, this just symbolizes something, okay? All right. Now forgive me, and let's go to the next. What's that? That just stands for what? Mess. That's just mess. That's fighting right there. That's how folk get fought, shot, beat up. But when you see that symbol, that stands for social media on a different level. That's a Facebook thing. It's the symbol. It's the symbol. When people are trying to tell me, Pastor, go to find so and so and so and so, I for a long time I was trying to write Facebook. No, so just go to your phone and look for the F. There's an F there. It's the symbol. Now, am I spending too much time on this? No, because if I ended the message right now, at least you will know that when you walk out of here, your heels, your covering, your presentation is a symbol of hope. The very life you live right now, you're still a symbol of hope for somebody. God will give you things to say that no one else will be able to listen to. God will speak things through you, and they may not make sense to anybody else, but because he knows you're a symbol of hope, he'll give words to you. What is this a symbol of? See there? That's that little bird, right? The little Twitter. Is that Twitter? Tweeter? Amen. That's the president's mailbox? Or something. Y'all missed all of that. But we used to have U.S. mail. Now we got U.S. tweets. But, it's in different ways. But that's a symbol of it. And when you see that, those of you who are registered to that can go in and have conversations or make comments to people without facing them. All right? What is this a symbol of? Okay, that's another symbol. This is how a lot of people now find a way to talk to people or bring people to their personal businesses. This is another symbol, right? Are y'all getting it? I know that those of you that are listening at this service, if you're young people, you're understanding. I'm not trying to be hip. I'm just trying to let you know that sometimes people are not judging you. They're reading your symbol. All of these symbols. They're not judging you. You're drawing attention because of a symbol you may not know that you're wearing. You may not realize, it could be cool. That great big earring, the piercing in the lip, the piercing on the tongue, the piercing on the jaw, piercing both your eyes closed, and you want to get a job as a teacher, driver's ed teacher, but you have both your eyes pierced closed, and so they may look at you and go, we really want to hire you, but you have pierced your eyes closed. No, I'm real shallow, Bill. I don't like, it just depends. What is that symbolizing? I don't know how many of you have tattoos, and the person that wears a tattoo, you're wearing a tattoo, and that's your brand, whatever that is. People see that. That's your brand. That's your life. That's who you're saying you are. That is your brand. That is your symbol. Your brand could be Tupac. Your brand could be Nupac. Your brand could be Stevie Wonder. Your brand could be your whatever. When you have taken the liberty to put something on your body that identifies something that you are, gosh. That's your symbol. So when you go out, if somebody calls you certain names that are filthy, it could be because they read your symbol. Now, have we ever had to wear symbols when we were younger and now that we're older? Yeah, it happens all the time. But I think this is the reason that it's fair for us to talk about this symbol now of hope, because I started wearing this symbol of hope as a young boy, but I did not know the responsibility of being a Christian as a boy that would be placed on me as a man. And a lot of times I wanted to put this symbol down. Because it's just too much attention. And I didn't like having to always have to be the guy to get everything right. When you symbolize hope in school, kids get mad because they fail the test. You know why they fail the test? Because they copy it off your paper. And you know you don't know nothing, but to say people know stuff, you know. So they copy, and everybody's mad at me. Now, we're not going to copy off Rickie no more. He's stupid. Well, I tried to tell y'all that. But when the Christian walks in the room, the teacher likes him. Teacher let me pass out the test. You know, teacher let me sit up front. Rickie, you watch the class when I'm gone. I hate it when the teacher left the room because she always put me in charge. So what did I do sometimes? I let the kids do anything they wanted to do because I didn't want them hating me when the teacher left. And she would come back. Who got in trouble, Rickie? No. You know, and so I had to become this leader that didn't want the responsibility of being hated. Because the teacher could see that there was something on me that symbolized hope. When I walked in, the kids wanted to vote me as president. They wanted to vote me as all these offices that I got into very early. And I took a pretty good battering as a young person. By the time I was older, I really didn't want to pastor. I just wanted to preach and move on. And God said, no, I need there to be a place open, and I will provide. I will provide, but I need there to be a place that symbolizes hope. And that's why we're here as a church. And that's why when the nations and when the world is looking for answers, they already have so many answers and solutions, but they come to where there's hope. And I don't know, this has to probably be one of the most powerful messages in the last 8 a.m. service and 10 a.m. service that I can remember in recent times that God has given me, that has taken a lot of courage to preach, because I'm supposed to talk about hatred. I'm supposed to talk about anger. I'm supposed to talk about racism. I'm supposed to talk about violence. I'm supposed to talk about police brutality. I'm supposed to talk about Black Lives Matter. I'm supposed to talk about all those things that are super important. But God has me today talking about hope, because all those things are such dark things. And God says, I still need you to tell the world that there's hope. So I won't make CNN. I won't get the NBC interview. But if I do, and every time I'm interviewed, I never get to look for a news clip of mine, because hope doesn't make the news. So don't expect to be popular when you stand on the hope platform, because your symbol is going to always reflect the sun. You missed it again. So the Bible tells us, because even guys, because we guard against negative thoughts. I try my best to, and the devil will throw them at you, and you can still be sometimes defeated trying to live a Christian life. Now I'm talking to you for a few minutes. You can get defeated trying to live this Christian life. In fact, it's very easy to get defeated when you're living this Christian life. And if your faith is not up to the level of your hopes, because we are the symbol of hope. Remember, we walk in, people know it's going to get better. That's just a thought that I want you to remember, okay? That's just a thought. They may never say that. And don't you walk in going, hey, I'm here, it's going to get better. But just a thought. And if your faith meets up to the level of your hopes, then your faith is going to bring those hopes into manifestation for you. And when you lose your hope, all intents and purposes could be in place. But if you lose your hope, you're going to shut down your faith. All intents and purposes, everything doing right, you lose your hope, you're going to shut down your faith. You're going to shut it down. And now you start saying, I don't think I have strong faith. No, you have strong faith. You have zero hope. So Satan now realizes, since I can't destroy your faith, I'll shut down your hope. And so you start talking like people who don't have hope. When a fireman shows up in his uniform, for some people, that's hope. But if the fireman shows up with no truck and there's a fire, they're going, what are you doing? We were looking forward to the truck. We're running into a lot of fires without our equipment, is what I'm saying to you. We've got to stop running into fires without our equipment. And so Satan says, I'll show you where the fire is if you promise not to show up ready to put it out. Oh, good God Almighty. Satan will give you engagements if you show up and don't do anything. Oh, you'll be popular. Yeah, they'll tweet you. They'll have your name all over social media. You'll be on everything. But when you show up, nothing happens. Because God should be running your schedule. Is this man crazy? Well, you may think it doesn't matter what you hope. Because the Bible says we walk by faith and not by sight. Okay? And that's true. We ought to make it a point to walk by faith. But the Bible also tells us in Hebrews 10, a very simple thing. Let us hold fast to the confessions of our hope without wavering. Don't let go of your hope. For he who promised is faithful. Don't let go of your hope. Don't let go of your hope. Please hear what your pastor is saying today. The word hope may seem inappropriate, but in truth, it's extremely important. See, before I learned to walk by faith, I live with hope. That's all I did. I hope I get some money. I hope my mama come home with something to eat. I hope my friends like me. I hope I do good on the test. I hoped. And the word I used earlier was a word that's not a word. I just made it up. I hoped and I wished it. I wished everything, wished it. I just wished. I'm not making that word up now. That's not a real word, wished it. But I wished everything. All I did was hope. And I didn't have any faith. And hope didn't do anything to change my circumstances, just as if it will not change what happens in your life. See, it was just hope. I just hoped everything. And when I started learning to walk by faith, everything changed. So, Pastor, can you break down what you're talking about? Okay, now let's go to school here, because I don't want to just give some motivational speech and you feel good about not fighting somebody on the job tomorrow. You got to walk in there realizing that's not your fight now. They may curse you, they may lie on you, they may do anything they want to do to you. But remember, you're the solar light. God has you on assignment. You got to go in there and show some light. Let people do what they've been ordained to do, and you do what you've been ordained to do. Here's the thing. Faith is what releases the power of God to change your life. If your life is changed right now, it's because of faith. You trusted God to do it, and God did it. But hope is going to simply keep you alive. See, this is going to keep you alive until things change. Everything in your life is going to change. But what if it's time for change and you didn't make it? Hope keeps you hanging on until faith brings you through it. Now do you understand why Satan is after your hope? Because if you let go of your hope, even though faith is going to bring the answer, you let go. You're gone. If somebody says, I don't want you around me anymore, they don't want you around. They have let you go. You're just kind of drifting now, hoping they'll pick you back up. And before you know it, they'll start treating you like that. And then you're not a pleasure to be around anymore. And then there's no excitement of being around you. And then you don't hear from them. They don't talk to you. Why? Because they're gone. There's nothing to hope. They're letting you know in so many ways, look, I'm good. I got what I needed from you. Move forward. So that's why Satan says, man, he wants to destroy your hope. What if we were hoping to have a relationship with Christ by people who showed up at church? Well, now it's finally maybe working for some people. Coming to church was just so we could see people. Now we can't come to church so we don't see people. So now we've let go of God. Wrong intent, wrong motive. That's why we say we got to believe Christ as a personal relationship, so that if I see nobody else, I'm going to still come, I'm going to still give, I'm going to still fellowship, I'm going to still pray, because people will come in and out of my life for the rest of my life. Hope is going to keep you alive until things change. And you are the symbol of hope. When you walk into a room, you're telling people, I'm going to keep you motivated until God changes you. That's what you do. And you've got to understand that's your responsibility. That's why you work in that hellish situation. That's why God took you out of the hellish situation and put you in a different situation. Because you had all the words, man. You had all the stuff, but you didn't have the hope. You're negative all the time. You never shine light. You walk into a room, people get quiet because you walked in. You killed the light. Why? Because the enemy stole your hope. Sure, you talk about your faith, but you got nothing to hope. Nothing's keeping you alive. Is this making sense? Nothing's keeping you alive until it changes. And sometimes people don't think you're active unless you're fighting and killing. Get on out there, jumping. People have told me before, jump on out there, Pastor Russ. Get on out there. You know what? Those are people who want me to die. Why? Because they won't hope to die. Hope is the rope to hold on to until the lifeguard comes. You're out in the water, you're drowning, they throw you a rope. Just hold on to the rope, man. Or hold on to the floater. That's what hope is. It's that float. The person's going to come pull you out. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. But you got to hold on to something until the person gets there. That's called hope. I'm going to let that stay up there for a minute. That's blessing somebody right now. That's blessing somebody right now. That right there is blessing somebody. You have not been able to figure out, how did I hold on, God? How did I hold on, God? How did I hold on? When I look back over my life, how did I hold on? Well, I kept hoping I was going to make it. I kept hoping, and I just kept hoping, and I kept hoping, I kept hoping. How did I hold on, God? Lord, I remember going down, and I popped back up. I don't know how I came back up. How did I hold on? How did I almost drown? And God, you saved me. You gave me a second breath. You gave me a second wind. How did I hold on? It was hope. Before I learned to walk by faith, that's all I walked by was. That's all I did was hope. I had hope, and so Satan came after me very early to steal my hope. He wanted to steal my hope, just like he's after every young person, every one of you right here now. You're 30, you're 40 years old. How are we holding on? This coronavirus, all this mess is going on. How are we holding on? We still have hope. We walk into a room and we know that we have a healer. We have a comforter. Okay, we have a virus, we have a deadly thing going around, but we have the power of the Holy Spirit. We have the hope of God. We have the Rock of Ages. And so as long as we know we have hope in him, we have something for our faith to be attached to. Every one of us in this room, the Bible tells us faith is the substance of the things hoped for. You're going to hear that all your life, but somebody never broke that down to me. So faith is whatever I'm hoping for, faith will give it to me. Watch this now. Watch this real careful. Watch this next statement. If I don't hope for nothing, faith has nothing to feel. That's how you determine what store you're going into. If you go to Walgreens right now and you want to buy a living room soup, it's not going to happen. A living room soup is not going to be sold at Walgreens. Because that's not the furniture store. Okay? If you see that W for Walgreens, don't pull into there. That's not for furniture. Faith is the Faith is the substance of the things that hope for. Whatever it is you're hoping for, faith will make that thing happen. So, if I'm Satan, the first thing I got to do to you is to let you not hope for anything. And after you have not hoped for anything long enough, you will start saying to people, I don't think I have strong faith. My faith is failing. And you spoke that into existence. Now you get what you say. Hope sets the goal, in other words. And faith obtains the goal for you. So you got to have hope. Your hope and your faith work together. And so what I challenge all of us to do right now that are listening to me, if you haven't gotten tired of listening, and I'm really praying for your strength, I want you to start praying for the strength to hear the whole message. Pray for the strength to hear the whole message. Just that's a thing. A lot of times we don't have Christians. We don't set any specific goals, so we have nothing to put our faith in. You know, we just don't. But we got to start setting some specific goals so you'll have something to see if your faith is working. God, today I want 2 people to call me. I just want 2 people to call so I can pray for them. Man, that's something to hope for. And I'm hoping all day when 2 people call, they won't call and say, I want you to pray for me. They may call and say something real crazy. And then that's my opportunity. Can I pray for you? That's one of them. Wahoo! And they may call and say, my sister's asked if she can use your truck to pick up some chickens. And I go, well, that's a beautiful thing. She loves chickens. Can I just pray for your sister? Boom! That's 2 of them right there. So that was my 2 opportunities. I set a goal that day for 2. I didn't set a goal to pray for 45 minutes because I know me. I'm not going to pray for 45 minutes, not straight. I'm just not going to. I don't pray 45 minutes straight. I've never done that. Now, I mean, okay, I know some people that do. And I'm not going to call their names because we broadcasting. But they could pray 45 minutes. And when you wake up, they still praying. They pray you to sleep, pray you through your sickness and disease and your infirmity. And when you wake up healed, they still praying. They've gone from praying you through it to praying you in it, out of it. But some people pray. I don't do that. I haven't done that, okay? And so what I want to do this morning in a very neat way, because we understand now, we're talking about the symbol of what? Hope. Okay, that's the message today. We're saying I'm going to keep repeating it, everybody. I am going to repeat it 100 times. That's just the way I teach. I'm going to repeat this. When you walk into the room, things get better. That's because you're the symbol of hope. You are the sign that Christianity is working. Please understand that. And so all these things we're having to talk to people about dressing right and you looking like the world, looking like club, looking like floozy and all that stuff. All we're saying is, baby, it's hard to read your symbol. Your symbol is confusing me. You're saying Christianity, but you're looking like Elm Street, Deep Elm, late night, blah, blah, blah. The symbol is confusing me. The symbol, your symbol is throwing off bad stuff. There's an open sign on the store, but the lights are off. So people keep driving up to the gas pump and nobody's coming somebody didn't change the sign. Open means we're ready to serve. So they're not gonna pay attention to all the lights. They're looking for the sign that says open. When you're running out of gas, you're looking for at least one sign to say what? Open. That's the symbol of hope. I could just stop right there. We could pray and go on to the house. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Somebody write that down. Remind me to say that later on somewhere. It's horrible when you walk up to a store that has open on the door. I did that the other night at the wing place. I wanted to call a man at home just to fuss about the sign. Because when I saw the sign, the neon sign. Y'all seen the neon sign? You're at the corner and you see the neon sign. You see the open sign from a long way, don't you? I saw the sign. So I knew then that I could go on up in there, place my order. I was willing to social mask some wings and fries. I would put a mask on the chicken basket. I did, and I saw it. My whole body became engulfed in wings. And I pulled into the spot because, you just feel like the Holy Spirit just said, pull in right here. And then I felt myself blessed because there were no other cars around. So I knew my order wasn't going to take too long. Yeah, I mean, God cleared. God ever made a way out of no way? He just cleared stuff. I'm thinking, thank you, Jesus, because I saw it from the red light. I saw the spot, saw the open sign, because the man in the neighborhood wouldn't do that. Not that man. I know that man. I pulled up in there. And let me tell you how my mind was working. I didn't even see the empty spots. See, I didn't see that until I realized, wait a minute. So I pulled up in the space, and then I looked inside. I didn't see, and then the little security guard man was gone because he'd be sitting there like that with a gun, He's gone, and I just thought, okay. And I looked, and I looked, and I looked, and I don't know. I'm just going to tell you about your pastor. I had all the signs that they were closed. Why did I have to get out, though? You got to get out. No, you got. And when I got out, what did I do? Why do you have to check the door? There's nobody in the whole place, but the sign says open. And I did it. I didn't do it one time. I did it twice. Amen. Then I had to do it the third time for people looking at me, look like I'm trying to break it in. This is just an attempt. I'm just playing. I'm going back. I'm letting it go. So I shook the door twice. I had to shake it because I just didn't want to be confused with this open sign that was a closed business. And that's what sometimes your symbol can say to people. That boy didn't call you fine because you were fine. He called you fine because he saw your symbol and you confused him when you didn't say to God be the glory. You just confused him. So what we want to do is start setting some specific goals. Yeah, we're a symbol of hope, but what are some of your goals? What do you want to do tomorrow? What can I do? And I want to challenge everybody here that's listening this morning to set some goals for you and your faith to strive for. You know, just y'all got to work together. You and your faith have got to work together. Now, some of those goals, I mean, I know maybe you like myself, I reach at least most of the goals I set for myself. Okay, now some of them haven't manifested. You know, sometimes it takes some of those goals months to come. Sometimes they just don't develop. But the point is that if I do set goals, I want to set goals that I can reach. Somebody told you to set your goals so high you can reach them. And that's what has happened to a lot of you. You set goals that you couldn't reach. And so now you've become frustrated and you give up and you don't do anything. You need to set your goal to make $17,000 a week. If you don't have that other drugstore we talked about earlier. I don't know, this message is not, it's going where the Lord wants it to go, but I don't know. When you tuned in to IBOC, you knew exactly what you were going to get. But no, and so sometimes people will have you to set goals that make you defeat yourself instead of just challenge yourself. When you set your goals, make sure you don't set them so high that you become, a lot of people are frustrated. You know, if you set a goal today that I'm just going to talk, I got to say, I'm going to speak to 5 people today. And you normally don't speak to 5 people, cut it down to 2. I'm going to speak to 2 people today. I'm going to return at least 3 of my phone calls today. Let that be a goal that you can reach, and then you'll stop giving up so much. Instead of saying I'm going to lose 75 pounds, say I'm going to lose 7.5 ounces. Get you one of those digital scales and let it talk to you. Let it talk to you. Get on up there. And if it's already out, when you got that first leg up there, don't even put the other leg up there. Just wait a while. Just do it a leg at a time. When you get to your, I'm not there yet. I just got one. But my point is, okay, I don't have a good time talking about hope. But do it. It's not that you're not losing weight. You're trying to compete with somebody else who's lying about the weight they're losing. Girl, I lost 75 pounds. She's lying to you. She got you now down on straight spinach and water. And she and her whole family are laughing at you because they have you drawn up. You a mess. You look like a Bitmoji. Why? Because you're trying to compete with somebody else's goal. Get you something that you can do and accomplish. Watch your faith help you to realize I can do 3 at a time. Don't try to go out and do 17 push-ups. Do 1 push-up and an ice cream sandwich. Oh, that's a push-up. That's an ice cream. Never mind. But do some sit-ups. Do 2 or 3 if you want to. But set a goal. Now, some people will tell you the opposite, but I'm trying to give you something that you and your faith can work on. You're a symbol of hope. So when somebody asks you, do you exercise? Yes. Yes, I do. See, now you become a symbol of hope. And they say, well, if you can do it, I can do it. You're a symbol of hope. I look for people who could tell me. That part. I look for people who can tell me, Pastor Rush, I struggle with technology. That's the person I hang out with. So are you good with it now? Oh, man, I'm great. Okay. See, that's a symbol of hope for me. But the person who knows all about it, that's not a symbol of hope because I don't know how they got there. So sometimes you have to, when you walk into a space, you're letting people know that you can accomplish this. Set a goal. I'm going to come to every Monday school for 2 weeks. That's just 2 Monday schools. That sounds like a lot of time, doesn't it? I'm coming 2 weeks straight. That's just 2 services. But that's a goal. Lord, I'm going to give my tithes and offering no matter what. I'm not now. I don't care if I change jobs, change friends, change husbands, change cities. I'm going to keep giving my tithe to the storehouse that has blessed me. See, that becomes a goal, and you just boom, you set it. Everything in your life will change and get better. Why? Because you're staying steadfast to your goal. You set something there. You set it. Okay, when you set your goals, make sure you don't set them so high that you might be frustrated, because that's exactly what Satan wants you to do. Satan wants you to get so frustrated, and this is how we talk after we're frustrated. Well, I tried that faith stuff. It just doesn't work. Why? Because you set your goal way so high. See, I want my hope to complement my faith. I'm not going to fuss. We're not going to fuss for 2 months. That's too much. That is too much. Okay, we're not going to fuss for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's too much. That's too much. Okay, let's be more realistic. We're not going to fuss. We're not going to fuss. Because when you start fussing, when you fuss, you just fuss. We're not going to fuss for 2 days. And one of y'all going to look like this. Okay, let's just be realistic. Let's be realistic. Let's be realistic. We're not not gonna fuss for 2 hours. You go to work, I'm gonna go to work. We're gonna read 2 hours, no fussing. And then you accomplish something. If you had to start with 2 hours, start with 2 hours, then go to 2 days, then go to 2 weeks, then go to 2 months. And when you first start setting your goals, I just want you to start setting some short-term goals. God, I'm gonna love or call somebody and speak kind. I'm going to stop texting. I'm going to call him. I'm going to call her. That could be a short-term goal. I'm just going to call, because if I'm not going to hit him, I'm not going to curse her, because I know there are people that struggle in those areas. Short-term goals. That'll be easier than setting long-term goals, because when you set long-term, you get discouraged. You set things out, and then someone else can come along with something that can motivate you to do something different. What are we talking about today? We're talking about holding fast, because we have to remember that we are symbols of hope. There are so many people that are going to be inspired to come and live for God just because of you. Just because of you. They know how you were. They know how you are. But they see, where were you Sunday, baby? I was at church. What? And then they'll see you after church. Where you been at church? Why you wearing that? You all, because it's what I like to wear. What? Last time I saw you was what? You getting old, fogey? No, I'm setting goals to last. And when people see you as a symbol of hope, do you know they'll change? How many of you have ever ridden a motorcycle because you saw somebody else ride a motorcycle and it just inspired you, and you got yourself up on that motorcycle and realized, Jesus, if you get me off this one time. Sometimes people do things just make us look like that. How many of you have bought things because other people bought it? How many of you have gone jogging because other people were jogging? You go jogging? Okay, we're gonna jog. You start out and you don't even realize all the stuff that bounce when you jog. You just don't, because they made it, people that jog, they just make it look like. When you started, it was noisy, like boom, 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 boom. You didn't know your neck, you don't know all the stuff you got to keep. It's just, and you don't know whether to put your toes down or your heels down. And so, oh my, you went out and bought all this jogging equipment, but you didn't buy a person. Your shoes too tight, your ankles are swollen. They didn't tell you how to put your shoe. You got on 4 or 5 pair of socks because you know you had gout or something. And But what? Somebody else inspired you. I was inspired like that with skating. You ever seen people skate? I hate to see those people skate who skate and they just, And I can't stand this one, y'all. In Jesus' name, I don't mean I can't stand it. But I can't stand this kind of skater. You know those people who. And then this is the one that I wish would just hurt themselves, But I was inspired to do that because I saw some people do it. I put those skates on and I went in 2 directions quick and lost my confidence. Never want to skate again, ever. Brand new skates. I was a little boy, I went to the skating rink. When people skate at the skating rink, they fall and make it just look like just the noise. And they get on up. When I fell, the skate came up here. I don't know how it did it, but I was inspired. Y'all need to grow up. I was inspired. Watching them skate gave me hope. And so my goal was to skate like them. And my goal should have been to just stand up. And so I was, for, I don't know, this is how I skated for a long time. And that was it for me. And then the music would be playing and I'd do it with a rhythm. Whole floor out there. My goal was not to skate with them. My goal was to hold up. And my very first real-time skating, my whole goal was to get that one lap. And if I could ever get back to that carpet, I've never been so glad to see carpet. Oh, man, when you get to that carpet, when you just sit down right on the entrance and take it off. But that's the way you are as a Christian. You're a symbol of hope for people. You're a symbol of hope to help people realize you can make this lap, but you got to hold on. You can make one round. Don't try to run it like other Christians. You're not going to make every prayer meeting. You're not going to read the whole Bible. You're not going to be able to understand the whole Bible. But when you show up in a situation, you got something for your faith to hold on to. See, I had the skates and I had the wall. And so that's all I needed was something to skate with and something to hold on to. And when I got to that part, and thank God the people who made the skating rink, they never made them without a wall. That's called a neighborhood. Skating rink, always, they at least have a wall, something to hold on to. And that's what I think God just wants me to say right now. And I'm going to close until tomorrow with this message. It's just realize that you're the symbol that has to show people you can make it, but you got to hold on. And so I wish I could tell you you're not going to be persecuted. And I'm going to go with the scripture to that on tomorrow night. Please make it a goal of yours to come back just tomorrow night to Monday school. Tonight we're going to be here at 6 o'clock. And with everything going on around us, guys, we need more strength now than I believe ever before. We were so strong that we were able to make it this far, but now new things are happening, and we need more strength. Okay? You need more strength. God's giving us more services. My message is not to be like brother so-and-so's or sister so-and-so's. It's to be like the message that God put behind this prescription. That's the message for us. Because we are going to change things. And I know we're going to change things. And we're going to start this evening at 6 o'clock changing things. Because we're going to do something we haven't ever successfully done in a long time. We're going to listen to those that God's going to use to help change the next thing. But they need wisdom and guidance. So I pray today that this message has inspired somebody to think twice about what you wear when you go out of the house, how you drive, how you act when you're in the line at the store. Let somebody get in front of you. It's okay. You just go back. If they get too close to you, watch how you say, get up off me, ma'am. You're too close. Your symbol just did that. Your Jesus just did that. Instead, excuse me, you can go ahead. And then you get behind them. Let somebody cut in front of you in traffic. So you're going to be late to work. Tell your boss, I'm sorry, boss. I'm one car late. You should be the symbol of hope. When you walk into a church building, everyone should know, here comes a smile. Here comes a person that's going to praise God. Here comes someone who's going to make it all right. We're able to come in the building now, and the symbol of hope says, okay, they can keep a mask on your face, but they can't keep a praise off your lips. You're still the symbol of hope. And I have something further to go into, but I hear the Holy Spirit saying that's enough, because I really wanted to go into this verse. I'm just showing where we want to go tomorrow. He says, be ye steadfast. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. You got to keep doing the work of the Lord, man. Because the world would love to have you doing this work. Now, that's where we're going to, I just want you to know I'm sincere about, I have so much more to go. But when God says that's it, I get it. I do. But you're the symbol of hope. You got to keep doing that. I don't have any friends. I don't have anywhere to go tomorrow night. I don't have anything to do. My life is boring. Your character is ungrateful now. Your life is not boring. You're ungrateful. You got more stuff to waste than more people have to buy. But you're complaining now. And now you become the symbol of doubt. When people hear you, they know you're going to complain. I don't have enough this. I don't have enough that. My face, my head, my mouth, my backside, my front side, my hair, my car, my feet, my children, everything about you there's no more hope. Didn't God provide for you? Then why is there so much despair? The only person you have to compete against is you. Stop competing with everybody else. Makes us feel good though when we can say, well, I got more money than my cousin. I make more money than my sister. I make more money than You got to compete against you. When I get up tomorrow, I'm not competing against. Somebody will tell me, well, they're doing this in that ministry, and they're doing that in that church. And I'm going, woo-wee, no doubt. And that is great. And I just killed it for them because now they don't know where to go when I say that. Because I hold myself in competition with me. I want to be a better Rickie tomorrow. I want to be a better solo light tomorrow. I don't know what motivated somebody else to do what they do. I know what motivated me. And I know where to go when I need to be recharged. I don't know where people go. I don't know where my competition goes, whoever that is. I'm not going to lift 500 pounds because that boy told me he could lift 500 pounds. Amen. If it's heavier than a hamburger with extra meat, I'm not going to pick that up. That could just be my whole goal. You compete with yourself daily. And you will stop trying to look cuter than the last girl, stronger than the last man, smarter than the last person that's got an education. You will learn every day to wake up and go, God, when I walk into the room, I'm a symbol of hope.
Thank you, Father, for revealing your word to me today.
Thanks for watching and for being bold and unashamed. Looking for even more content from IBOC and Pastor Rickie G. Rush? Make sure you're following IBOC and Pastor Rush on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For even more info right at your fingertips, the new mobile app is available for iOS and Android in the iTunes and Google Play stores. And don't forget that an important part of accomplishing God's mission are the tithes and offerings we receive from faithful viewers just like you. Won't you make a difference and become a fisher of men, supporting the ministry work of IBOC and helping us change thousands of lives all over the world? Visit us online at ibocchurch.org or on our mobile app to make your donation. You can also give through Givelify in just a few short steps. Thanks for your support. That's it for now, but be sure to tune in next week for another powerful message from the Master Illustrator, Pastor Rickie G. Rush.